And can you by no drift of confidence get from him why he puts on this confusion, grating so harshly all his days acquired with turbulent and dangerous lunacy? He does confess he feels himself distracted, and will pause he will by no means speak. Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof when we drum on some confession of his true state. Did he receive you then? Most like a gentleman, but with much forcing of his disposition. A negative question, but of our demands most free in his reply. Did you essay him in any pastime? Madam, it so fell out that certain players we all wrought on the way. Of these we told him that it seemed to be in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are here about the court, and as I think, they have already ordered this night to play before him. 'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter, with all my heart. And it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge, and drive his purpose into these delights. We shall, my lord. Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as per by accident, may hear affront Ophelia, or rather than myself, lawful espials, who will so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge, and gather by him as he's behaved, if it be the affliction of his love or no that thus he suffers from. I shall obey you. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again. To both your honours. Madam, I wish it may. Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book, that show of such an exercise may colour your loneliness. We are oft to blame in this. 'Tis too much proved that with devotion's visage and pious action we do sugar o'er the devil himself. Oh, 'tis most true, 'tis too true. How smart the lash that speech doth with my conscience. The harlot's cheek, beautiful with class-setting art, is not more ugly to the thing that helps it than is my painted word to my most painted? Than is my deed to my most painted word. Heavy burden. I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die. To sleep. No more. And by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die. To sleep. To sleep. Perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. Now there's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, the spurns the patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare body? Who would fathers bear to grunt and sweat and a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience doth make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sickly dawn, the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment, with this regard, their currents turn awry and lose their of action. Softly now, fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons may all my sins be remembered. Good my lord, how does your honour for this many a day? And how do you thank you? Well, my lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to be delivered. I pray you now receive them. No, not I. I never gave you aught. My honoured lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again. For to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord. Are you honest, my lord? Are you fair? What means your lordship? That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty. Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty? Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but another time gives it proof. I did love you once. Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so. You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock that we shall relish it, but I loved you not. I was the more deceived. Get thee to a nunnery! Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious. With more offences at my back than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between earth and heaven? We are errant knaves all, believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Come. Where's your father? At home, my lord? Ah, well. And let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell. Oh, help me, you sweet heavens. If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as pure as ice, be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery. Go, and quickly too. Or if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly too. Farewell. Heavenly powers restore him. I have heard of your painting stew well enough. God has given you one face and you make yourselves another. You jig, you amble, and you lift and nickname God's creatures and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to. I'll no more want. It has made me mad. I say, we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To an enemy. Go. Oh, what a noble mind is here overthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, thought, the expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. And I, of ladies most dejected and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh. That unmatched form, let they keep, but let me go to unmatched form and stature of glowing youth, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe it is me, to have seen what I have seen. See what I see. Love? His affections do not that way tend. Nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul, or which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger. Which for to prevent, I have in quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England, for the demand of our neglected tribute. Happily the countries, seas and countries different, variable, shall expel this something settled matter from his heart, whereon his brain still beating puts in thus compassion of himself. What think you on? It shall do well, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said you heard from me. My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conflicts. If she find him out, to England; if she find him not, to England send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think. It shall be so. Madness and great ones must not unwatched go.